Hi. So this game is Streetball Allstar. I go by Aitana, and this game is just really, truly like. I mean, I'm not a mobile game player, but this game, I got an ad on Instagram and I downloaded it, and I've been hooked ever since. It's been like a month or so. I'm a pretty high ranking League of Legends player, like Grandmaster Plus, if you're familiar. I'm used to in League looking up videos when I'm trying to learn a new champion. I'm trying to figure out a new role. I'm usually like looking at content online. So when I started this game and I realized I liked it a lot and I wanted to like kind of invest into it, I was looking up, guides for certain roles and characters, and nothing really existed. And honestly, I mean, this game deserves a lot more. I mean, I don't know how popular it is. Like, I can only tell you from looking at like the world chat and things like that. It seems like the game could be a lot more popular, and especially because there's like no content, no streamers on Twitch. So I want to just kind of create some sort of content. I don't know how many people this will reach, but I hope anybody who's starting the game, this is helpful. And if you've never heard of it, then you can be introduced to a really cool game. Really enjoy it. So basically, what I'm doing right now, I'm just showing you the different roles. So if you're familiar with basketball, you already know the roles that you're looking at on the left. So there's center, which is the big, power forward, which is like a pseudo big. As far as I know, and I could be wrong, I'm not super well versed in basketball, but I believe the center's main role is like screening, getting blocks and rebounds, like in the paint. And I think that's mainly like their niche. I think power forwards are more for like dunking, maybe a little bit better at shooting mid and short range. I think some of the power forwards in this game can shoot threes, but I'm not sure. They're both big, so it was basically if you queued up and you needed somebody to play big, if they picked a power forward, it would not be the end of the world. I would prefer to have a center. I think centers are broken, but I'll get into more of this stuff in detail later on. So these are the centers that you get. The ones that you see on top that have a diamond next to or underneath their name and portrait, that indicates that you can buy them with the in-game currency. You see, for example, Big O is 1,999. You can unlock him for that price. And at the top, I have 13,000, which is a lot. You're not usually going to have that many. So these maybe seem cheap because of how much I have, but it's not actually that cheap. When you start off a new account, they give you a lot of resources, which I'll get into. Down here are the Gacha characters. These are the ones that you have to unlock through events, which usually means using the tokens they give you or tickets. They give you a lot for free, honestly. The events that I've been a part of, which is only like I think 2 or 3 now, they've given me so many free rolls. The percentages are similar to other gacha games. It's not like this they give you free rolls, but like it's exceedingly difficult to pull them. I pulled 3 of them already, 2 of them with free pulls, and 1 of them I was paying for pulls. So yeah, these are the gacha characters. You can't actually unlock them with diamonds, and they kind of get rotated, so you can't just unlock all of them at any given time. These are the power forwards. See all of these. And I will just say, like right off the bat, in this game, at least so far, it seems like the meta is very defined by the top players. So the very top is Legend, then Master, then Diamond 1. I feel like I'm currently Diamond 4, so I'm not really that high up. But I've played versus high Diamond and Master players, and I think realistically, if you really enjoy a certain character, you can probably play them to a really high rank. I wouldn't be too concerned about what's meta and what everybody's playing. I think really if you love a character, you can definitely take them to a higher rank. So I wouldn't get too caught up with like what's meta. I would stick to playing what you like. If you're realizing that it's like super hard to climb, then yeah, maybe either one, you're just not great at the character, or other objectively weak. So I don't know, like the strength relativity. Not gonna lie, I couldn't really tell you the difference between a small forward, a power forward, and a shooting guard. Those 3 kind of blend together. They all feel like they do very similar things. Like there are some small forwards who are really good at dunking. Some of them are really good at shooting. I guess a lot of them are good at dunking and medium range shots. The shooting guards are the best at threes. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe the small forwards are dunking mid-range and shooting guards are more just like 3 points and mid-range. Some of these characters you'll probably not see almost ever locked in. Again, just because people follow the meta. And these are the point guards. They're mainly the facilitators, so you're going to see, as you climb ranks, that playing cards, the main thing that they're doing is they're running around really quickly. Sometimes they'll set screens in like the middle of the paint. Sometimes they'll be actually like in the perimeter setting screens. These are the point guards in the game. And let me see what I show next. Okay, so this is the screen you're showing when you have a character that you're trying to upgrade. As you can see here, it's showing all of the talents that they have. Some of them are just like passives that they're not like actives in the game. And some of them are just kind of like minor mechanics, and there's a lot of overlap when you play other characters in the same role. So I wouldn't get too worried about this stuff. It's maybe seems like overwhelming, but truthfully, it's really quick to pick up. You pick up on this stuff really quickly, especially if you're only playing that character. But these are like this is the talent page, so you can. And also, there's not really a choice. Like once you unlock all of the slots to equip talents, you'll have all of them unlocked. So it's not like you can pick and choose. Like you only can pick and choose while you're limited on your talent blocks because you have to unlock 2 of them, or 3 actually. So that's the only time you get to pick and choose. Otherwise, you're just going to be filling your talent bar with everything that you have. So that's good. At least it eliminates like having to choose, really. And when you want to upgrade these, you use another resource. Now, I don't think I showed it in this video, but to unlock the resources to upgrade, I think it's called energy gel, you can either use your diamonds to convert like diamonds to energy gels. I think it's 5 diamonds per 1 energy gel. So it's not crazy. I mean, you can also just buy like little packages in the store that have energy gels. So when you click on one of these skills or talents, you can, a lot of them that have actives will have little video attached so you can see what exactly it does. So it's helpful, at least in the beginning. Okay, so this is the strengthen page. In this game, it's pretty important to strengthen your characters. As you can see on the bottom, they start out at a C. And as you upgrade them, it costs more and more resources to upgrade them. So going from C to A is pretty quick and not very taxing on your resources. But to go from A to, let's say, SSS, it's going to be a lot. And then from SS to A, it's going to be a lot. But as you strengthen them, their stats go up. So each one of these hexagons is a stat. Like usually I think it's like 2 or 3 stats that are increasing at once, not by a crazy margin, but it's like significant. So every time you unlock one of the hexagons, you're number 1 getting closer to reaching it to the next letter grade, and you're just raising the baseline stats. So it's really important. When you start playing ladder competitively, you really can't be locking in a character that has less than SSS. I mean, ideally you're only playing aces, but when you start climbing, sometimes there are ban phases, and your best character gets banned, and you might get forced onto like a secondary or tertiary pick. So, you definitely want to make sure that you have at least 2 or 3 picks that are decent. So it's not just strength-wise, we'll get into it, but there's also other factors that you need to make sure you have so your character is competitive at a decent level. So the assist page, I think I show it here, but basically you get to assign some characters to assist yours, meaning that you just get to boost your stats by the stats that they have. So as you can see, this is a really good example of why you actually have to have a decent amount of characters that are at least SSS, but preferably ace. Because you can see, okay, for this guy Daisuke, right? When he's assisting your character, if he's a C tier, which he is, he only gives +3 block, +3 power, +1 rebound. But if he's ace, he's getting you +9 block, +9 power, +6 rebound. That's a huge difference, especially when you consider the fact that you'll have 4 supporting characters. So it is extremely important that if you do it fast, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So you just have to gradually keep in mind that you need to be upgrading characters, even if you don't really use them, just to be assist characters for your units. Really important. And again, don't need to speed through do that. You'll just naturally do it over time. And now we've made it to affixes. This is not something you'll probably be too concerned with in the beginning, but once you figure out the character that you really like and you want to make your main character, great. you're going to get, you'll probably get a skin for them, and I would recommend doing so because you want to look good, and two, you want to get something that's called an affix for your skin. So basically, you go to the store, you buy a skin for her, great. Then you acquire something called a dye, and basically the dye serves two purposes. One, it dyes your clothes, so you can customize the way that you're looking. It's RNG, so you can just keep rolling until you get the color combination. The second is that every time you dye your clothes or skin, it basically gives you a chance to get a boost to your character that's attached to that skin. So let's say you dye that skin 10 times. Well, one of those 10 times, you actually RNG'd a skill that boosts their 3-point shooting capabilities or gives them better blocking. Okay, great. So now you save that, and that's tied to that skin. You can't transfer it, that's tied to that skin only. So I would really recommend, if, when you're buying a skin, make sure you really like the skin, because when you start dumping these spray paints into that skin to get these affixes, that's it. You're stuck with that skin for a while, so make sure you really love it. And if you don't really love a skin, I would wait. Just wait until you get a skin that you like. Some of them are like limited time. Maybe you want to wait for it to be released, because you cannot transfer it. You're not getting those spray paints back, and the affixes are tied to that skin only. When you get to the point of affixing your characters, hopefully by then I'll have uploaded a video that gives you a brief explanation of like what the best in slot is for the roles. I'm sure it kind of varies a little bit per character, so maybe the ones that I give are not the best in slot for every center, but you can use it as a baseline and kind of take it from there. So that's what the skin affixes are. The set attributes, that is talking about the clothes. So you have skins, which is just character specific, and then you have clothes, which are clothing sets that you can put on any character. And the nice thing is, once you put them on a character, you can just take them off and swap them. It's not like it's linked to one character only and that's it. So you can actually upgrade a set and just use it on any of the characters that you're in the mood to use it on. Only caveat being that once you get into matchmaking, you can't change who's geared and who's not and who's wearing what gear. That's something you have to decide before entering matchmaking. So unfortunately, you can't just in the middle of character select just swap gear around. Would be nice, but you can't do that. And for skins, it's the same kind of concept, except instead of using dye, you use these coins or tokens that they give you a lot of free ones, and you have, of course, the option to buy or exchange resources for them. The biggest difference is that when you do a set, when you're rolling the set to get affixes, you're also rolling some stats that it'll provide as a bonus. So it makes it a little interesting, because, I think the affixes themselves are way more important than the stats that are on the set. So say like you roll your best in slot affixes for the set, for the role that you want. Like say you're playing point guard, you got the best in slot affixes for point guard, but the stats that you rolled on them are not ideal. Like you got blocking and you got rebounding and you got power. Those are all like center attributes. That doesn't mean that you have to keep rolling it. You definitely could just sit on that. Now, if you want to have the strongest possible character, of course, keep rolling that until you get the stats that are good for your role. Only, again, it's a bit like diminishing returns, because once you get the best in slot affixes, you can't just lock those affixes. Every time you roll them, now you're not stuck with that. You can just keep the original, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of the value of your resources, it's very inefficient, because now you're just rolling to get like best stats that I don't think they make a huge difference unless you're playing at like the really highest level. I definitely wouldn't be dumping them in. They're better spent on upgrading other sets. So I would stick with just getting the really good affixes, and then the stats you could always do down the line. It's not a rush. It'd be really expensive unless you got super lucky to get everything best in slot, including the stats. This is a very wordy explanation, but that's what this entire page is describing. When you ace your character, they'll get an ace, like player attribute. This is the ace. This would be for your skins affixes, and this for the sets affixes. As far as the sets go, I believe I go into clothes later. You also can upgrade the individual parts of the set, stat boost every time you do it. So you choose the kind of statistic or stats that you want. So say you're gearing up a center. Well, You can choose between 5 different stats. One's like best for centers, one's best for power forwards, etc. So, say if you know for a fact you want that set to be for a center, you just choose the center stats, and then you could upgrade those, and it just gives you like a flat stat upgrade every time you upgrade it. It's not super pricey. Definitely not cheap to get it maxed out, but it's not the most expensive thing you'll do. So you want to do that as well. This page is just showing you your character's individual stats. It's a little annoying because it doesn't actually include in the number that it provides you on the left the number in the right factored in. So it's just your baseline based off of your strength and whatever, not including your bonuses. So you have to actually do the math yourself. There may be a way to view this without having to do the math. I'm not sure. But just so you know, rebound is not actually 73, it's 79. So continue. I wish there was a way to skip forward a bit, but I'll probably edit this. This is a pass. It's some of the most efficient money you can spend. It gives you a lot of resources that would cost you a decent amount otherwise. I would definitely recommend getting the pass. It's an easy way to get resources to upgrade your characters, and it's a lot of value. If you are familiar with the game, then you would know how expensive it would be to get a lot of these things. So it's crazy good value. Definitely, I would get that myself. This is something that you only would really be looking at when you start out. Another way that the game gives you a ton of free resources, you just want to complete these missions. I made a mistake on this account because I was so locked into completing this thing called Street Legend that realistically you should be checking this like after every match, because if you unlocked a tier, right, it doesn't like carry over if you like did more than what was required, right? So say like in this example, you completed 5 matches. Well, it's only going to count the 3 and the 8 rebounds until you claim it, and then the extra 2 that you completed don't carry over. So you can end up like, extending how long it takes to unlock these stages if you don't check it and claim things after every game or couple. So again, so many free resources, like there's a ton. Okay, these are the chests that you get. Every time you play a game, you get a chest at the end. They don't give a ton of stuff. I would never unlock these using gems. It's definitely not worth it. But I do it now just to show you what comes inside of a chest. So I spent 51 gems. Definitely not worth it. But you see, you get some stuff, but most of it's useless. Like, this is mostly useless stuff and not even close to being worth 55 gems. So I would not be baited into using your gems for that. So on the left here, this is the event page. This is where anytime you satisfy the requirements to claim one of these rewards, there will be like a little mark that, you have things to claim. So you go in there, you claim it, and this is, again, just a bunch of resources you get for free from the game. This is something I'm getting just because I'm a newcomer, but you can see, again, so many resources. You do not need to spend money in this game at all. Even to get a character that has best in slot gear and is aced, you don't need to spend money. It would just take time. And it's a convenience thing. If you don't mind spending money to accelerate how quickly you can progress in the game, of course, by all means, like, spend money. It's just not something you need to do. So don't feel like it's pay to win. It's only pay to win if you don't want to wait. So what I'm going to show you now is a relatively high ranking game. So this is like high diamond. Well, one of them is diamond 1, the rest is like low diamond. It's a diamond game, right? Let's say it's like a diamond game. This is going to look a lot different from the games that you play starting out, but it's important that you kind of know what the game looks like when it's played at a decent level versus when you're playing it at a low level. So I'm not going to pause to also let the thing play, but it's the biggest thing you'll notice is how quickly people are moving. It's just a much faster paced game. And you'll also see, usually there are 2 play styles. One is you're going to see a lot of people setting perimeter screens, meaning that they're just going to be standing and blocking the enemy defenders, so you can set up a 3-point shot. That's very common when you have a shooting guard that is like super good at shooting threes. Like, that's a really common play style. The other is you'll have a team that's kind of just trying to funnel the ball to somebody who can dunk really well. So one is like farming really easy 2-point shots, and the other is looking for more lucrative, slightly more difficult to coordinate 3-point shots. Sometimes you'll have teams that are kind of just doing both, or even just going for like 2 point shots, whatever it is, or say they just have like a center that you want to feed the ball to that's really good at finishing the play, those two play styles. And they're not every game, of course. You could have two teams that are just looking to shoot threes, or two teams that are looking to dunk, but that's the most dominant. Like in lower elo, you're only really going to see people shooting threes. There are not a lot of people dunking in low rank lobbies. You really only see dunking like when you get to like decent lobbies. So, but you just see the game is it's pretty fast. It's easy to lose track of the ball, honestly. Like I still catch myself sometimes if I'm not really locked in. Like I will just be like covering somebody that has not had the ball for 20 seconds, and my teammates are like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, yes, you're right. My bad." You know, but this is what a game would look like if you were to climb a bit. And then I show a slower paced game, like a game that would look more similar to if you had just started out. So I'll just go and show you a bit of it. You just need to keep in mind when you're playing these games that this is not really how the game's going to be played. Your role as these different positions is going to change vastly as you climb the ranks. So what works in these lower rank games is almost never going to be what works in your higher rank games. So just try and keep it in the back of your mind that these lower rank games, you're kind of just playing to get out of the low rank that you're in, and they're not like teaching good habits, right? It's quick to rank up. You're a lot of times faced against bots in lower rank games. Like this game is 3 bots in the enemy team, possibly a bot on my team as well. There's a lot of bots in the lower rank games. And yeah, that's basically it. So this game is, as you can tell from the gameplay too, like it's a really clean game. The way to progress characters compared to other gachas, this is like the most generous in my opinion. It could be quite expensive if you're just looking to get as strong as possible, as quickly as possible. It's going to cost you a lot. So you just have to know what you're going into, but no, you 100% do not need to spend money on the game to be competitive. Just need to be a little bit patient. There are some things that you can spend money on, like I didn't show it, but there's a pass as well, a monthly pass that gives you a lot of resources. So I would just say if you are looking to not really spend money, but you don't mind spending like say $10 to $20 to make a huge impact on your playability early on, for sure, get the passes. When they do like these newcomer specials, those are extremely high value. There are things that just make objectively the value of your money goes so far in certain circumstances with this game and what they offer you that, for me at least, like obviously I make money. I think my time is more valuable than the $5 I'd spend that saves me like a couple of hours. But yes, Streetball Allstars is a wonderful game. I hope if you don't play it currently that you get into it and you add me, because I have like no friends that play this game, and yeah, I'm concerned that the game's gonna die out because I don't find there's no content. Like nobody streams the game, nobody makes YouTube videos really. Like I don't want this game to die, so I'm gonna keep making videos. I think the next video I make, maybe I'll do more explanations. I just want to do like entry level stuff because this is all stuff that I wish I knew. Oh, right, the last thing, if you're still watching, please just do not make the mistake of dumping all of your resources into a character that you're not sure that you're actually going to play long term. Like I said, this game is 100% free to play. You do not need to spend money to have strong characters. But if you fall for the trap of upgrading characters early on without kind of like planning ahead, like, you haven't looked at the characters in the shop and you haven't done any research about other characters and who you might like to play that you just don't have yet, it's going to be a lot longer to max those characters. So do a bit of planning, look in the character list, see who you think would be your favorite to play. Just put in a little bit of effort to see who you want to play, and if it's who you're playing, that's great, then of course, max them out and do all that. But I would only, because I made the mistake of doing that, and I have now characters that are ace that I never play, and they're not even roles I play anymore. So really try and figure out who you want to play, what role you want to play before dumping in resources. And if you do that, you will have your favorite character aced in no time, and they'll be really strong, and you'll have a lot of fun. Hopefully this was valuable to somebody, and I will make a follow-up video sometime soonish.